Hi, good day everyone. I am DoraMae Guimapang from BS Criminology Section A. For today, I will be continue my reflection, which is the midterm. Reflection number one. My reflection number one is about the Act of Declaration of the Philippine Independence. So, the documentation recounted the signing of the Philippine Declaration of Independence. It also emphasizes consequences of events that lead to a succession of revolts against the Spaniards. So, it opened the path of Filipinos to understand the revolts and the declaration of the independence. So, it declared the Philippines' independence and sovereignty from the oppressor at that time. Which was Spain. So, it also marked at the end of the era. So, the Philippine Revolution, which began in August 1896, was fought for independence from Spain by the Katipunan. And the United States declared war on Spain on April 25, 1898. So, after Spain failed to engage in active social reforms in Cuba on May 1, 1898, so George Dewey defeated the Spanish Navy in the Battle of Manila Bay. And on May 19, 1898, so Aguinaldo officially allied with the United States and returned to the Philippines to continue the revolution. By June, the Katipunan had gained control of most of the Philippines, excluding Manila, which was controlled by the United States. And taking into account the fact that the people of this country are already tired of bearing a sinister comedy of Spaniard dominance, neither the US or Spain recognized Philippine Independence Day. Section number 2 is all about the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines, which is the Malulu Convention. And in 1899, so the Malulus Constitution, the first Philippine Constitution, the first Republic Constitution in Asia, was drafted and adopted by the First Philippine Republic, and which lasted from 1899 to 1901. Then, during the American occupation, the Philippines was governed by the laws of the United States of America. So, sovereignty belongs solely to the people. And Article 4 of Title 2 is the Republic's government is popular, representative, alternative, and accountable, and it possesses three different powers, which is the legislative, executive, and judicial. And the Philippine Revolutionary Troops, led by Emilio Aguinaldo, declared the Philippine sovereignty and independence from Spanish colonial control. The United States and Spain, who ceded the Philippines to the United States in 1898, Treaty of Paris, did not acknowledge the declaration. So our country, Philippines, is a presidential republic with three departments of government. So, executive, legislative, and judicial, all of which have equal power. Through this system of checks, balances, and government aims to act in the best interest of its population. So, furthermore, an assembly of representatives of the national shall exercise legislative power. The form of method in which this assembly is established shall be determined by legislation. So, 34 article, members of the assembly are chosen to present the entire nation, not just the electors who elected them. So lastly, on January 21, 1899, so Aguinaldo issued that Malulus Constitution, which is still in use today. So the Malulus Constitution is the first important document used by the people's representative in the Philippines. So it is founded on democratic value, have their origins in American soul. Reflection number 3, the Treaty of Peace between the United States of America and the Kingdom Spain of Treaty of Paris. So the treaty sought to remove any ground of misunderstanding growing out the interpretation of Article 3 of the 1898 Treaty of Paris by clarifying specifics of terrorist relinquished to the United States by Spain. So, the Treaty of Paris in 1898, also known as a Treaty of Peace between United States of America and the Kingdom of Spain. So, Pilipino kasunduan ng Paris ng 1898 Spanish Tratado de Paris de 1898. So, was treaty signed by the Spain and the United States on December 10, 1898. So, that ended the Spanish-American War. So, Spain gave all the claims of Cuba's sovereignty and title as well as the Puerto Rico, Guam, and the Philippines to the United States. So, the Philippines were ceded to the Spain exchange for a $20 million payment from the United States. And the Treaty of Paris granted Cuba freedom from Spain. But the flat amended to the Taylor amendments, the U.S. Congress secured indirect U.S. influence. So Spain abandoned all claims to Cuba's sovereignty and title. And following the Spain's departure, Cuba was to be occupied by the United States, which would undertake to fulfill any international duties imposed its occupation. So, the contract also stated that the Spain would hand up the Puerto Rico and other Spain-controlled islands in the west, as well as the Marianas Islands, islands of Guam, and to the United States. So, more especially, the treaty address had 17 articles addresses from the issued. So, the first article of Spain is the relinquish of sovereignty claim of Cuba and US. So I will not state all the article, but there are 17 Treaty of Paris that they address the following issue. So 17 siya ka-article. So reflection number 5, the convention between the United States of America and the Great Britain delimiting the boundary between the Philippines archipelago and the state of the North Brunei. So in 1930. So the United States-Great Britain Convention in 1930 was an agreement between the governments of the United Kingdom and the United States definitely delimitate the border between the North Bureau and the British Protectorate for the Philippines archipelago in the United States of Territory. So according to my research, on January 2, 1930, President Herbert Hoover signed the convention in Washington. Esme Howard, British ambassadors to the United States, and Secretary of the State Henry L. Simpson, the United States ratified it February 1930. So, and the United Kingdom accepted in November 1932. So, following the clarification to that not exchanging between the two governments in 1930 and 1932, it became effective on December 30, 1932. So, the following the exchange of ratification. So, the next is the Rizal retraction controversy. So, the debate continues even in our national heroes, Dr. Jose Rizal thoroughly retracted. So this had been most widely discussed aspect of Rizal's case during the Spanish Inquisitions. So he is best known for the novels he wrote as a result of his valiant battle against the colonists, and he became our national hero. But what if in the final hours of his life is a national hero repudiated and all had ever seen unwritten? So, in 1935, Father Manuel Garcia came across a letter. So, Jose Rizal declares himself a Catholic, and the letter retracts everything he has said, written, published, or done against the Catholic Church. So, on this subject, opinions will differ because some people will agree and others will disagree. So his turnaround raises various questions, including whether all of this was what vote for the first place. So following in caution from Father on December 29, 1896, so Rizal drafted and signed the retraction papers in front of Balanger and the other Jesuit priests present in the death cell according to the Balanger's version. So between the two confession, Rizal requested the two confession from the priest as well as a rosary. So, Rizal requested a mass and request for a Holy Communion in Balaguer memorandum record, which is the result Jesuit rapidly approved and assigned. So, inside the cell, Villa Clara served as the official priest of the Mass. According to Rizal, the figure of the Sagrado Jesus was requested, which was carved when they only 14 years old. So, only 14 years old. So, consider the following three phrases of negation with the length of that work provide spiritual care and command by Dr. History Rizal. And why it is not father, there will be a wedding according to Balanger. What's more, where the Father Belacorte March confirmed the occurrence of the marriage ceremony was all in the just, it is a rumor.